see what you can find. When you leave it all behind, you'll free your mind.
The local show is sponsored by the Aspen Square Condominium Hotel, featuring fireplace studios and larger condominiums offering air conditioning. They're located in the heart of downtown Aspen and can be reached at 925-1000 or on the web at aspensquarehotel.com. Sachet Floral Arts and Gifts features Aspen's largest variety of fresh cut flowers and fun, innovative gifts, including romantic gifts and scented candles. Sachet is located next to Clark's Market, and their phone number is 920-6838. Located on the corner of Main and Monarch for over 15 years, Hairbrains is where locals go for their hair needs, including natural hair color services. Discover Aspen's Haircut Happy Hour, open till 6:30 p.m. daily. For more information, 925-4434 or hairbrains.com. Aspen's Under Armour store features moisture-wicking performance apparel for men, women, and kids. Their staff will help equip you for every sport, ranging from skiing and hiking to golf and tennis. They're located next to the gondola at 555 East Durant, or can be reached at 544-1062. Aspen Animal Hospital offers local veterinary care and supports the Aspen-Pitkin County Animal Shelter. They're located at 301 in the Airport Business Center, and their phone number is 925-2611. Rocky Mountain Pet Shop has been serving Aspen's pets for 37 years and features wellness, Innova, natural balance, and frozen raw meat dog foods. Conveniently located in Aspen, they take pride in their customer service and pricing. Their phone number is 925-2010. For heavenly blessings, there's St. Mary, and for Epicurean blessings, Our Lady of the Cheese. Specialty Foods of Aspen and the Cheese Shop are conveniently located at 601 East Hopkins and can be reached at 544-6656. They are open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Sundog Athletics is your opportunity to quickly gain new skills for mountain and road biking, snowshoeing, and cross-country skiing in order to maximize your performance, enjoyment, and mountain lifestyle. More information on private lessons at 925-1069 or sundogathletics.com.
Get set for the local show!
With Erik Skarvan.
Nice. Welcome to another edition of the Local Show here on GrassRoots TV 12. Thank you for taking your valuable time to join us. I'm Erik Skarvan, your host, and we will continue to bring you inspirational locals who are pursuing their dreams, and not only pursuing their dreams, but having some success in doing so. And my guest co-host of the week is no exception. She's been, in fact, born in Aspen, back living in Aspen. Her name's Johanna Robertson. Johanna, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you for joining me this week.
Yeah.
And we've got a great guest of the week, Anita Thompson, joining us. She'll be out in just a few minutes. We like to say she's in the green room. That like sounds like big time TV.
Yeah.
But Johanna, we're on the set of the Local Show. And I want to welcome you and thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
So Johanna, you were born in Aspen.
Was born in Aspen. When I was about 1 year old, I moved to Mexico, to Baja California.
That's amazing.
Todos Santos with my older sister and my mother, of course. And it was just a wonderful experience. We were down there for about 14 years.
That's amazing. So born in Aspen, but really raised in Mexico.
Really raised in Mexico. I had that kind of diversity of kind of American family. Even though my mother writes screenplays and a musician. So we had no TV and went to school down there for most of my schooling.
Okay.
And it was a wonderful experience, very unique.
So would you say it's more of a simple life? Not in a bad way, but more of a simple
Just
life than living in
different.
Aspen?
The culture, I mean, it's
Okay.
your neighbors are not just your friends, your family. walking to school and people just pick you up in their cars because there's one car, you know, things like that. It's very wonderful.
So a culture where you're maybe closer, more like one big family, so to speak, versus kind of how we live here in the U.S., where, you know, might be a little more segregated.
Yes, exactly.
That's interesting. That's interesting. And then you came back to the States.
Came back to the States to meet my father, and then my mother decided we would just stay here. And so a lot of things in between, but, and I've been working 3 jobs ever since about 14, and been living wonderfully in Aspen.
Did you ever go away to college, or how did your whole education pan out?
I went to college while I was working for about 2 years, just here at the community college.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you had most recently been training over at Haas Fitness.
Most recently been training at Haas Fitness. I was there for about more than a year.
Okay.
And I love it. I love what you can obviously do with your body, and I have a daughter, and it's amazing how my body inflated and then deflated and changes like that. I love to just, it's addiction, you know, exercise.
Right. And
it's through love and, you know, empowerment for everyone.
And you're a relatively new mom, I was going to say. How old is your daughter now?
She is 19 months.
Oh, 19 months.
Yeah,
okay.
19 months.
I didn't think she was that old yet.
Yeah.
And is it Clementine?
Clementine.
Oh,
Clementine Rose.
Your little Clementine.
My little Clementine.
And now are you trying to do some training more in the realm of kind of prenatal, postnatal, kind of after going through that experience?
That's what I'm looking to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's definitely what I want to pursue.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I do love that.
So you're currently interviewing at some of the local health clubs.
Yes.
And you'll have that kind of specialty working with women, in particular those kind of getting ready for who are
a
pregnant.
baby,
right.
after a baby, yeah.
Okay, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's great. And what other things do you enjoy doing outside of personal training?
Well, I've always been a dancer. Even though I'm with my daughter a lot now, I've been known as kind of like the gypsy dancer that's at every show dancing, because I love it.
Oh.
I would call it more spirit dancing. What can I say? But
just for fun, or for hire, or
just for fun?
Just for fun.
Well, I've done some hires just to get the band rolling and stuff like that, and people out dancing. So.
Okay, so you must have been at the Carbondale Fair this last
weekend.
Dancing around a little bit.
It was so nice.
Did you kind of a hippie gypsy thing, like, you know, kind of swinging your body freely
dancing,
around? Kind of.
It was fun.
Probably,
it's nice
probably
to get out
making
of
it look
Aspen
really
right
bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little more probably skillful than what I just displayed.
A little, yeah.
But free spirit. So you like to go to live music and
love
those types
live
of things.
Music, yeah.
And do you like yoga as well?
I do. I do love yoga. I do Pilates in my sessions. So
okay.
A little combination of everything. I'm also a Reiki practitioner.
That's right.
So
I remember running into you on the Sunnyside Trail, and you practiced a little Reiki.
Yeah,
so a little energy.
3 years ago or 4. Yes.
Yeah. I was really struck by that. So that's something that if someone wanted that, they could hire you for Reiki,
they
kind
could
of a therapy?
hire me for Reiki.
Okay.
Also, I think in the future I'll do that in a mix of also doing a personal training session. So right after, you can have the hard workout and then also a balance of mind and body as well.
Okay.
You know.
And how would someone get a hold of you if they would like your services?
My number is 970-618-6309, and 24/7, give me a call.
Okay.
We do a lot of things outside, so definitely call me.
Okay, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to find out if our guest of the week does physical activities. I think she does. So we'll have to find out exactly what.
Yeah.
So without further ado, we're going to get to our guest of the week, Anita Thompson, mainly focus on her new book, which is being released tomorrow, The Gonzo Way. And we'll find out what else she likes to do with her time here in Aspen. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Well, I was walking my dog down the old walking trail.
The local show is sponsored by the Aspen Square Condominium Hotel, featuring fireplace studios and larger condominiums offering air conditioning. They're located in the heart of downtown Aspen and can be reached at 925-1000 or on the web at aspensquarehotel.com. Sachet Floral Arts and Gifts features Aspen's largest variety of fresh cut flowers and fun, innovative gifts, including romantic gifts and scented candles. Sachet is located next to Clark's Market, and their phone number is 920-6838. Located on the corner of Main and Monarch for over 15 years, Hairbrains is where locals go for their hair needs, including natural hair color services. Discover Aspen's Haircut Happy Hour. Open till 6:30 p.m. daily. For more information, 925-4434 or hairbrains.com. Aspen's Under Armour store features moisture-wicking performance apparel for men, women, and kids. Their staff will help equip you for every sport, ranging from skiing and hiking to golf and tennis. They're located next to the gondola at 555 East Durant or can be reached at 544-1062. Aspen Animal Hospital offers local veterinary care and supports the Aspen-Pitkin County Animal Shelter. They're located at 301 in the Airport Business Center, and their phone number is 925-2611. Rocky Mountain Pet Shop has been serving Aspen's pets for 37 years and features wellness, Innova, natural balance, and frozen raw meat dog foods. Conveniently located in Aspen, they take pride in their customer service and pricing. Their phone number is 925-2010. For heavenly blessings, there's St. Mary, and for Epicurean blessings, Our Lady of the Cheese. Specialty Foods of Aspen and the Cheese Shop are conveniently located at 601 East Hopkins and can be reached at 544-6656. They are open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Sundog Athletics is your opportunity to quickly gain new skills for mountain and road biking, snowshoeing, and cross-country skiing in order to maximize your performance, enjoyment, and mountain lifestyle. More information on private lessons at 925-1069 or sundogathletics.com. Welcome back to the local show, and we are very pleased and honored to be joined by new author and return guest to the local show, Anita Thompson. Welcome back, Anita.
So nice to be back.
So nice to have you, and
such a great show.
to feel your energy and Johanna's energy. I'm overwhelmed by the love that's in the air, and I'm so fortunate to spend time with lovely ladies of Aspen, such as you two. And you two had met somewhere along the line, kind of in the past.
Yes,
As it is a small town.
We feel this.
like, Aspen
feel
is
you
a
met-
campus.
It's one of those where
Sure.
we met, but we don't know exactly
Right.
where, kind of thing, somewhere along the line.
Yes, we're both lucky.
Yeah, yeah. So welcome back. This is an
Thank
exciting
you.
time for
Thank
you.
you. It is. It's so good to be back. I spent 9 months in New York working on my undergraduate. I went back to New York to finish.
Oh, no kidding.
So I'm really enjoying the summer here, and I'm just very, very happy to be here.
Did you just
home.
recently get back then?
I got back in May.
Okay.
In May, but
okay.
I've been here all summer, and it's coming to a close. I'll be here until the end of August.
Oh, and then
Back
to New York?
Back
or-
to New York for just for the school year, and then I'll come back again to my home in Woody Creek.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you're
But-
in, what kind of a degree are you going after?
American Studies.
Okay.
I have 2 years completed, and then after Hunter died, I decided I would go back and finish. So American Studies is American government and history and literature.
And what
So
do you hope to do with that? Are you going to continue
I
to
will
write?
continue.
Okay.
And I would like somehow to use that to benefit my own community, Pitkin County and Aspen and Woody Creek eventually.
Ah.
But right now, I think I should bring some more education into my life.
Might we see you running for political office someday?
Locally, perhaps, if I could do some good. Sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
But
That's
otherwise,
exciting.
my main goal is to continue with Hunter's work, because I think it was very important.
Okay. Well, let's
Yes.
back up a little bit. You are a native Coloradan as well.
Yes.
See, yeah, this is a good match, this
Yeah, we
show.
are.
Like, we have
We
two
are.
native Colorado girls. But you were born in, was it Fort Collins,
Fort
Colorado?
Collins.
Okay.
Fort Collins.
And then how did you live there for, how long did you live there?
I lived there most of my formative years, and then I went to boarding school in Switzerland for 2 years.
That's right.
And after I graduated, I started going to UCLA. And I didn't finish UCLA. I became very political. I got involved with a group called CalPERG and the Sierra Club, very high-paced political public relation or public welfare groups. And,
Okay.
and then anyway, I got very political and a little angry and overwhelmed. So I decided to come back here to Colorado just for a semester to chill out and ski. But then what happened is I learned to snowboard. So I stayed.
And then you were hooked.
Then I was hooked.
You were hooked on the Aspen area.
I had a long love affair with Buttermilk Mountain. And,
That's great.
Yes.
That's great.
And then I met Hunter. So I decided not to go back to school the day I met Hunter, the day I started working for Hunter in 1999.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did that come about? Like, how did you interview for? Was it an interview and he hired you?
No, actually, what happened was a mutual friend of ours. I didn't know much about Hunter at all. I was very ignorant. I hadn't read Vegas or Hell's Angels, but I was interested in football because I was wondering what this is about football that will bond, particularly men who have nothing else in common, will be lifelong friends over this one sport. And I was very curious about it. And my friend Don Dixon, he said, well, I have just the perfect person to teach you about football, and that's Hunter Thompson. So he brought me over there, and Hunter was a gentleman and taught me how to taught me about football by betting on every play. Like money was constantly changing hands because that's when you learn something if you have a stake in it.
Oh, okay,
so,
okay.
So and then
were you involved in the wagering?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
if the next one would be a down, or if you know what
first
the next
down
first
or-
down, yeah, exactly. If they would make the down, or if they would you know fumble or whatever. So
So he was a mentor early on.
he was a
in
mentor
the arena
early
of
on.
learning football.
Yes, exactly. He was a
Okay.
great teacher in almost everything. And so when I was going back to school, he was starting to work on a project, his second letters book called Fear and Loathing in America. It's a collection of letters, and he needed help with that. So I thought I would stay just for a little while, but I fell in love with him, working with him. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what in particular did you, I mean, obviously there's a lot of, there's so much we could talk about with Hunter, but what were some of the things that attracted you to him?
Well, I actually point out 7 of them in the Gonzo Way, and it was not the lifestyle. He was certainly the most fun person I've ever met, before or since. And life can be a little boring without Hunter now, but we're all doing our best, those of us who loved him, to continue the fun. But what I fell in love with was his curiosity, his wisdom, these things that kept him grounded. You know, there was not the wild, crazy drug rides that he's famous for that I fell in love with. It was not that at all. In fact, those were auxiliary side notes. They were not the Hunter Thompson that I know.
I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting because there was a quotation, I think it's from the book. Hunter had the energy and vitality and the curiosity of a young girl and the depth of wisdom that came with his age and experience.
Yes.
That's an interesting combination.
He's one of the wisest. Yeah, he's one of the wisest men I know, just because of all the experiences he's had in his life, and he knew how to pay attention. He was like a sponge, like a child, all the way through till the end, and but he didn't lose his curiosity. I mean, he was fun like a teenage girl. It was fun. It was like hanging out with a teenage girl who was much smarter than you. So it was great. It really was. It was a gift he had.
We've had Sheriff Broadus on in the past, and he talked a lot about that. You know, that wisdom, that intellect, being a sounding board. When Bob had something he wanted to talk about or something that was troubling him, he'd go to Hunter as his kind of mentor and sounding board.
Yes, he was a very good sounding board, and he was a good advisor and good friend to us.
And the book talks about the Gonzo Way is the name of the book, and it talks about these 7 lessons, some of which you learned, well, all of which you learned from Hunter.
Yes.
What are a couple of these lessons that maybe you could...
I'll give you one example. You just brought up that Hunter was a good advisor. He would give people good advice. And a good friend of Hunter's called one night, and she was really worried about her mom, who is a serious alcoholic. And people had tried to put her in treatment, and this is actually a common thing in this valley. But so Hunter talked to her mom and said, listen, whatever her name was, she said, are you having fun? Because it's wrong when it stops being fun. And so that was her decision to go into treatment and cut out what wasn't fun anymore. It just wasn't fun for her anymore. So it just took, you know, Hunter's wisdom could come in those short sentences, you know, something he had been studying all his life. He knew exactly what to say to this woman who had been battling it for 20 years.
That's interesting.
So,
Just keying in on that simplicity of,
simply
is this
wisdom.
fun for you?
Yeah,
Is
and
this still fun for you?
That's one of the rules in the book. It's wrong when it stops being fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
What about another lesson of life that you learned?
A lesson of life, learning, that's what it's all about, actually. That's, it was rare that Hunter would spit out pure wisdom like that. One thing he couldn't stand, because he used to do a lot of interviews, and when people would say, so, Dr. Thompson, tell us, what's the meaning, or what's politics like in America today? Or what's the meaning of life? And he would call them, what's it all about, Alfie questions. So he normally wouldn't answer those questions, but one time a young kid called in, a friend of Nick Nolte's, he called, he was having trouble with some things, and Hunter said off the cuff, and he meant it, he said, learning, that's what it's all about. And he sort of like hung up, and that was it. But he was right, because that's what Hunter did all his life. He just kept learning. He kept his curiosity. So that's the #1 rule, really.
So that curiosity drives that
learning,
that yearning for more
and that's what it's all about.
Learning.
That's what it's all. I mean, he was a writer, so he could just keep learning about everything.
Now you talk about this energy that he had. What do you think? What inspired him? What do you think inspired him about life?
I think, this is not a discussion I had with Hunter so much, I mean, he loved life, but I think why he loved life is because of the freedom that it offered. He started studying freedom as a young kid, and I think to figure out how to have the ultimate freedom, I think he had to first learn what the anti-freedom is, and that's fear. So he learned to conquer that, or learn to deal with it from a very young age. And most of his books are really a study of fear, I think. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, The Hells Angels, it's a study of this outlaw motorcycle group that controlled their image just by using fear, all the way to his memoir, Kingdom of Fear, and how a nation can't really be free if you're living in fear all the time, whether it's fear from the government or fear from terrorists.
Right.
But he was, that was his, I think, his motivating force in everything. And if he had freedom, everything else would fall into place. His love, his career, everything would fall into place. But freedom was #1.
Right, and fear is such a big hurdle. You know, when you talk about, like, in the realm of pursuing your dreams, pursuing your goals, that fear is such a big hurdle.
The anti-freedom.
How did you get over the fear to write this book, Anita?
Well,
the Gonzo Way.
I thought, it was a way of...
or was there no fear anyway?
Oh, there was fear. There's fear every day.
Sure.
When Hunter died, that was my MO, was every day waking up feeling the fear of what it was going to be like without him. But it was a good healing experience for me. And so that's what helped me, by talking about it and sharing what I learned with young readers. That was helped with the fear, because I got like hundreds of letters from kids after Hunter died, sort of misinterpreting his work as his lifestyle, and I just wanted to correct that it's really not about the lifestyle. The lifestyle, you can have that lifestyle if you have a basis.
Right, exactly. The lifestyle, so part of the inspiration for you to write this was to educate, especially these younger readers, that it's not about this kind of lifestyle, drugs and drinking, and then this is a byproduct. Success is a byproduct of that.
Right. It was the other way around.
You achieve you achieve the success first, and then you tend to kind of enjoy your life a little more, and maybe in some crazy ways too.
Yep, that's a good way to put it. Exactly.
Okay, that's great. Well, here's a book. It's a cute little book too.
Thank you.
And it's about what, 80 pages or so?
111. It's not, I don't know who said it was 80.
Okay, I think that's what it was written in the local newspaper. But we're going to get a shot of this, and this will be available at Explorer Booksellers in Aspen.
Yes.
And your release is tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow. I hope it'll be here by tomorrow at Explorer, but it'll be there soon, I hope.
Okay.
I'll be signing in Denver tomorrow, actually, at Tattered Cover, but I will do a signing in Aspen sometime this month.
Okay, and as we get set to wrap up the show, we're down to a couple minutes. Okay. What would be a couple keys or ideas you could give a fellow local if they wanted to do something similar, like write a book?
Well, I would start with, you have to start with a message. What is the message? If it's just your life, I would narrow it down a little bit, and find a good publisher. And with a good publisher, you'll get a good editor. I found a really small publishing house in Denver called Fulcrum Publishing through George McGovern. He actually introduced me, and because they're small. It helped me with my first book, because they're small and they understood what it is to be afraid to write a book. So anyway, I think the good publisher is key.
Okay. So get your message dialed in.
Yes.
What you would like to,
and
give
take that message to the publisher.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to be too vague when you're going to a publisher. It's they have a lot of proposals, and you just want to have a clear message when you go to a publisher.
And then as far as sitting down and actually focusing on a computer and typing away, what's the best way to do that, like for you?
Sit down. The first thing to do is you have to sit down, and that's really the hardest thing to do.
Right,
So we all do our best writing when we're in the shower and we're driving and we're thinking, but sitting down is the hardest part.
Just sitting down,
Yep.
taking the time, taking the focus,
Yep.
and start
Exactly.
to put those first words
Exactly.
down, right?
You know this because you're a writer too.
Right,
so,
a little bit,
yeah.
a little bit.
Sitting-
Not at this level.
Well, sitting down is the hardest part.
Yeah.
And it was the hardest part for Hunter too. Do we have time? I would tell you a quick story about Hunter.
I think we're down to close to about a minute, but a quick story.
It was we were late on a deadline for Playboy magazine about his generation, and I looked, and he was supposed to be writing, but he had a toothbrush and he was cleaning the keys on the phone because that was much more important, even though we were late on deadline. So he had that problem too.
Yeah, I think that's tough. And then you always hear about writer's block, and how do you get over that?
Exactly.
Did you ever have to go outside and like just clear your head and then come back
yeah.
and do things like that in the outdoors?
Music was a great one for me that I learned from Hunter. Blast Bob Dylan if necessary.
Get a little inspiration from Bob.
Yes, indeed.
That is awesome. Well, Anita and Johanna, thank you for joining me on the local show. A bottle of your favorite wine. Anita, at least I know, being from Woody Creek Cellars.
Thank you.
Thank
A bottle for each of one. And we have the Sangiovese, which you just came out with, I believe, this last year.
Great.
And we want to thank Kevin for being our wine sponsor.
Great.
And then, ladies, on the athletic side of things, everyone needs to stay hydrated, especially after drinking a little wine.
We can put it in here.
If you want. You know, that's how they do it in France.
That's true. Or in your Camelback.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
In the old tour days, you know, they used to put a little wine in their water bottle. Old Tour de
that's
France
right.
days.
That's
Smoke
true.
a cigarette on the side of the course.
That's so funny.
That kind of thing.
Well, anyway, it's really nice to be here.
Always
Thank
a pleasure.
you so much. I hope one day I can be one of your underwriters.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Yes, I will. That's one of my goals.
We would be honored.
I love you guys.
And
Thanks.
Congratulations on the Gonzo Way.
Thanks.
You guys can pick this up at Explore Booksellers in Aspen and bookstores all over the valley. And Johanna, thank you for joining me. Did you have fun?
I had a wonderful time.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
thank you.
And you are available for personal training.
I am.
People can call you at
Yes.
618?
618-6309.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching us on the local show each week. Next week, unicyclist Mike Tierney. Don't miss him. Thanks again for watching the local show, GrassRoots TV 12.